He should be on death row.
Yes. Absolutely.
He should be executed.
Yes, he should.
Without a doubt.
No doubt whatsoever.
That truck was found here at Bastrop High School. Shortly after Stacy's murder, Fennell sold the truck. Less than 6 months after Stacy Stites was murdered, the officer who was investigating her death was also murdered here. Chris, who would want Texas mother Tabassum Khan dead? The killer's identity may have been a mystery to this day had he not made a huge mistake. He left his bloody handprint on the door handle. Another shocker in this case, according to investigators, 7 other people at this high school knew about the murder and didn't step forward.
What did you think when you saw your mother lying there motionless? What was going on in your head?
At that time, I thought she might still be alive. That's why when I touched her, there was no response. To me, that was the end of everything that I knew.
I came home, she's got blood on her.
Is she breathing normally?
No, she's not doing anything, ma'am. She's gone.
I listened to your 911 call. Was it an act? Was that sincere?
I knew what happened, and I knew that I was the cause of that. So that was the when I was really able to let go of my emotions.
You didn't understand the consequences of life actions of what you were doing? Do you consider her blood on your hands?
Yes, I've wrestled with that a few times, but yes.
You feel that an injustice was done to Jennifer Jeffley?
I don't feel it, I know it.
So you didn't check to see if she was alive or move any of the broken parts? No. Then what happened?
They shooed us off and we went upstairs.
What's been the hardest part in this for you?
Living the last 20 without her.
You have the timeline.
Oh yeah, you know there's nothing less left for speculation.
And you have witnesses now to back up this timeline.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no pay in this. This is just from your heart.
Yes, sir.
Why?
For the families.
20 minutes before she went missing, he showed up at that store.
Why?
Well, you know, that's a $64 question.
Oklahoma's Volunteer Cold Case Task Force claims it's sitting on a hotbed of explosive new evidence.
You have 4 DNA tests out on Dina.
And inching closer to solving the 20-year mystery of what happened to 16-year-old Dina Dean.
So whoever killed her should be shaking in their boots right now.
I would be, with this crowd chasing me.
It's a crowd of 22 retired but highly skilled investigators.
What did you think of him and how did he treat you?
I really liked him. He treated me like I was his own daughter.
So you thought she met her soulmate? Or?
I sure did, and I was so happy because she had finally met somebody.
I lost my mom when I was 6 years old. I didn't understand it at the time. Did you understand what that meant, that you wouldn't see her anymore?
In the beginning, no. I just remember like this feeling in my heart, and it was like a piece of me was missing, you know?
If Freeman has reached out to someone, even if it's just receiving a phone call and not letting you know what time, what date, and what was said.
That's a crime.
You don't care if it's mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, the mailman. If they help Freeman, it's on.
I don't care if it's his pastor.
You're prosecuted.
We'll prosecute.
Chris, I'm here in Southern California off the side of the road where a missing persons case turned into a homicide investigation.
How did you feel?
Devastated. Betrayed.
This is the last known place where Michael Crine was with his girlfriend Jennifer on the property of her family's winery. We're going here to see if she or her family has something to say to sort things out. And Jennifer breaks her silence to answer the one question many are asking.
People are making allegations saying that you might have killed Michael. You and Crystal McDowell, you were close. You were like sisters.
I guess we met when we were about 17. Her spirit was just radiant.
Had you talked about marriage?
We tentatively talked about a few things, but again, this relationship was fairly new. We were talking about possibly her moving in. She didn't want to be by herself.
The storm was approaching. How did she wake up What did Crystal plan to do?
She woke up fairly early that morning. She was going to go pick up her kids.
How old was Michael when he transitioned to Mercedes?
14.
How did that go?
With us, it went well. His daddy did not accept it at all.
In fact, police actually had multiple witnesses claiming they were certain Josh and Mercedes were having sex long before that day.
And this friend said that she could hear them at her home. This was months prior?
Yes, ma'am.
So this throws out the window the claim of him finding out in that moment that he killed her that she was a man.
Yes, that is not true.
You had real murder investigators here to make sure it looked real.
Between the investigators that are involved in this and the undercover, we all have several years of experience of investigating crimes, which involve murders, suicides. So we try to make it as believable as possible.
Cops hit send on their camera phones, and Sandra gets her grisly photographic trophy. Next, from courtroom to Crime Watch Daily hot seat.
Did you want Lindsay dead then? Have you ever wanted Lindsay dead?
While previously she had been defiant, upon hearing the judge's decision from this bench here in this courtroom, Sandra broke down in tears.
What just happened inside that room?
I was sentenced to 720 months in prison.
How does that set on you? What are you thinking? What's going on inside?
That's a death sentence to me.
Loved ones of Renee Pagel say Michael Pagel has moved several times since the murder of his estranged wife. We're going to his home here to see if he wants to respond to those allegations. Then, just as we were preparing to leave, Michael pulled up and quickly hopped into another car.
Michael, just answer one question. Just tell us, did you kill your ex-wife?
Tell us about Morgan. Who was she?
Morgan was so special.
And that's the last time you saw your daughter.
Yeah, I said goodnight, and she said, I love you, Daddy.
When did this stalking start? Who did Morgan think it was behind the stalking, and how did it begin?
She started hearing tapping on her window.
Morgan had grown increasingly afraid of a suspected stalker, so her dad installed several security cameras here at their home in hopes of catching the man in action. Then they say they did. And what about Claudia's claim she didn't know there was a bullet in the chamber?
Should she have been aware of this as a police cadet student?
Absolutely. The first thing that you're taught in the police academy and in any firearms training is that the gun's always loaded.
Up next, police uncover an eyewitness to the shooting, and it's a shocker.
Did he see what happened?
He did.